I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be dating single moms. Well, if you're a guy and you're either dating a single mom or you're considering dating a single mom, I've got an email here from a woman who's also a psychiatrist, incidentally. And she happens to be a single mom with several kids from a previous marriage. And she asked me, after we had a phone session a few weeks back, to do a video newsletter talking about this particular topic, because she had a guy that she's been involved with. It's actually a guy that she used to date and hook up with before she settled down and married her first husband, who she's now in the process of getting divorced from. And me, being a guy who's dated many single women in my life, I've obviously got a lot of experience in this particular topic. And my current girlfriend, she's also got a child from another relationship. And I think it's a wonderful thing. And it's beautiful and it's great. But obviously, if you're a guy or if you're a girl, there's some things that I want to go through in here so both men and women can learn something from this that will help them so hearts don't get broken. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then I'm going to go through her email. And the quote says, "When a man truly cares for a woman and deeply loves her, he will love her children from other relationships also. When a man is only into a woman physically and enjoys having a good time with her, but he doesn't deeply care for her, he's not going to want to have anything to do with her children from other relationships. Single women with children should take their time when dating men who don't have kids of their own to observe a man's actions and make sure he truly cares for them and is not just interested in using them for a booty call or quick hookup. Men should only get involved with women who have children when they truly care for the woman and are open to the possibility of things progressing to the point where he becomes a stepfather to their children. Real men who aren't interested in being a stepfather to someone else's kids should do the honorable thing and not date women with children or give women false hope of a relationship just so they can get laid. Men who know how to seduce women successfully also need to be responsible with that power and sex appeal that they wield so they don't break any hearts in the process of fulfilling their carnal desires. Real men who are honorable and who have integrity are also concerned with the welfare and the feelings of other people who could potentially be impacted by seducing the women they desire." So let's go through her email. She says, "Hi Corey, so it's really hard for me to find a man that's got his shit together that I'm also attracted to. I have about 10% of my clients are women, and it's like the biggest complaint they have is, where the hell do I meet a 3% man? Where can I find a guy that understands the things that you teach?" And that's why the title of my book is How to Be a 3% Man, because when you learn and you master these things that are in my book, you have ultimate choice. You are completely set yourself apart from all the other guys that are out there. And this particular woman, she's very beautiful. She's in great shape. She's got her shit together. She's successful, and she wants a man that's also on her level. And women like this also need to be concerned that they're not going out. Because a lot of guys, when they find out, if you'll notice, you meet a woman and she has kids from another relationship, when you first start talking to her, that's one of the first things that's going to come out of her mouth. "Oh, I have a daughter," or "I have a son," or "I've got 3 kids." And the reason that women are telling you these things is because if you're a guy that doesn't want anything to do with her kids, if she's got kids from another relationship, she's in essence trying to pre-qualify you. She wants to make sure that before it goes any further, that you know that she's got kids. Therefore, if you proceed with her and you start going out with her and dating her, you're not just looking to get your dick wet, but you're actually with her because you like her. And a man who has integrity and has some honor is not going to get involved with a woman when he really doesn't want to be a father figure to somebody else's kids. It's just the right fucking thing to do, because there's enough single, beautiful women out there that don't have any kids if you're a single guy and you want nothing to do. But what I found over the years, like when I was really learning this stuff, is that when you weren't that into the woman, you didn't want anything to do with the kids. But when you really liked her and you really felt something deep for her and strong, the kids were just a bonus. And you would love them just as much. You love the mother, how could you not love their kids? She continues on, I'm just now getting my body back and ready to date, and I'm glad I had this other guy to get me through my divorce and pregnancy, but he's still just a little pussy boy as far as making a definite move, and that's okay. So the search for a playmate is on, and so I'm excited. I love your work. Please train a man and then send him my way. One man at a time, honey. I'm doing the best I can. I like cocky, confident, natural badasses. I have 3 older brothers, 1 younger sister, and I love being called little girl. If a man can play with me like this and pull it off correctly, I'm as giddy as a little schoolgirl that wants to jump his bones. Like I talk about in my book. Treat her like the bratty little sister. I might even wear my Catholic schoolgirl plaid skirt while doing so, if he so desires, and if he plays the dominant, in-control man, so I get to be the girl, but it does have to be authentic. So this is a woman, guys. They're watching this. It's, again, confirming the things that I talk about and teach all the time. If you're going to talk the talk, you better be able to walk the walk. James Bond has his little smirk for a reason. The only point you are consistently leaving out, sugar, is that with all of these men learning how to play the game so well and picking up so many women, they are losing sight of how it feels to have a broken heart. So in other words, what she's wanted me to talk about is the importance of not being a fucking dickhead. Don't get involved with women who have kids if you don't have any desire to be a father figure to their children just because you want to get your dick wet. There's plenty of women out there. So don't fucking do it. In saying that, you must know how to instruct them on how to date delicately and respectfully. So in other words, she's basically saying, don't break a girl's heart and don't give her false hope, just like I talked about in the quote that I shared. Some girl fancies them just as much as they fancied their princess on pedestals, and in fact, they are callously breaking many a girl's hearts in the process of their own much-needed, ego-fulfilling, which is not cool when someone shows up in my emergency room suicidal over some girl, silly girl, or boy. I mean, in extreme cases, you come across a woman who's insecure and people do some crazy things. So it's like the stuff I teach, you got to be respectful of that. You've got to be respectful of the other person and consider the other person's thinking. Because this woman had a guy, what I was talking about earlier, that she had dated many years ago before she got serious with the guy who became the father of her children. She settled down, she married him, and then when that marriage ended, she got back in touch with the original guy, but she had just given birth to another child, or her 3rd child, and so she's like, she didn't want to get together with him until she got back in shape and was looking all hot like she did when they once were together. And one of the things that she was sharing in the phone session that we had was that back when they dated, well, the reason why she never got serious with him because he was a bit of a playboy, and that's why she didn't settle down with him and ended up choosing the guy that she married. And the thing that, even though she does this for a living, she's a psychotherapist, psychologist, even though she does this for a living, the guy hasn't really changed. And she's kind of ignoring the fact because, it's men and women both do this. You have a breakup, and what happens? You want to call the old exes, get in touch with those that you used to hook up with, because it's really easy to jump right back in that because what's safe and what's comfortable and easy. But the bottom line is this particular guy, in all the years that she was married, this guy still hasn't grown up. He's still a playboy. He still likes to have his cake and eat it too. And so the thing that was frustrating to her is they've been talking for almost a year again, and yet even though she throws all these hints and innuendos, he won't make any plans to see her. He just keeps talking about it. So that tells me he cares about her, but I think at some level he also respects her and realizes, you know what? If I go out and I start hanging out and hooking up with her again, she's going to get attached, and I don't want to break her heart because we've known each other for so long. And so he's happy to talk to her and chit-chat and use sexual innuendo when they're talking on the phone. But what she's doing is she's ignoring the fact, and I pointed this out during our phone session, that this particular guy is just simply not making any plans to get together with her. So what I would tell her to do, there's no reason to call or text this guy. What she should be doing is looking for a guy who's single, who's available, and who's happy to date somebody that has children and is open to the possibility of becoming involved. So this particular guy, even though he's still kind of a playboy, he's also not leading her on or hanging out, having fun, and hooking up when he has no intention of settling down. So that's the one thing I do like about what this particular guy's doing. But from her perspective, she's not really doing herself any favors by, in essence, being hung up on this guy and hoping that somehow he's going to change or become different than he is. If they've been talking for a whole year and he still hasn't made plans to get together, he's not interested on that particular level, even though he may find her very sexually attractive and want to get together with her. Because I've been in situations like this in my own life. If I knew I didn't want to date the women, but there was chemistry and attraction there, or maybe we had dated previously, I'm not going to give him false hope and start hooking up and making out and things like that. Because you do that with a woman, she can't help, because women are natural nurturers and bonders and connectors, and they're going to want more. That's just the way they're designed. So don't lead a girl on. I'm curious what advice you'd give men on this, which is interesting to me from a guy's perspective. In all of my relationships, work, family, romantically, I always try to put myself in the other person's shoes. Do more videos in general for women on men. Well, when I get good ones, I do. I'm a psychiatrist, which is on a completely different level than a psychologist or therapist, but thanks. Well, thanks for clarifying that. I pretty much know exactly what's going on and then some, but I do read up on male psychology and human behavior quite often, obviously. It's kind of like she knows what to do, but because she's emotionally invested, her emotions are overriding the fact and, in essence, blinding her to what's really going on with this relationship with this other guy that she's been talking to that's really not going anywhere. And honestly, I don't care to listen to women when they talk about men. It's like asking an apple what it feels like to be an orange. Freud and Shakespeare cover a lot of ground, but there's always more. So do some more videos for girls that want to rock your socks off videos. And by the way, real women worship their men. Absolutely. We love to build them up. I talk about this a lot. You want a girl in your life who will be your biggest cheerleader, who when you're not around, she's defending you and singing your praises. A woman who supports your purpose and your mission and encourages you to expand even more into that. Build them up, ask them questions when we know the answer to, we praise them. In other words, when a woman knows the answer to the question, she just wants to see what he has to say. And also to help him feel better, because women that really understand men know that we need to stroke our own egos and we need to have our egos stroked. And us guys, we like to talk about our accomplishments and what we're done, and when we say, oh, attaboy, give us an attaboy. Oh, that's great, honey, I'm so proud of you, you're so brilliant, you're so smart, you're so fucking amazing. And we love to do almost whatever they want in bed. Talking about being submissive. The better you treat your man, respect, and take care of him the right way, the better man he will want to become for you. And what she's talking about there, it's important for us guys in a relationship, for the ladies that are watching this, that we need to feel like we're successful at making you happy. There's a lot of women don't understand that, and they just berate the shit out of a guy. And eventually the guy gives up because he thinks, fuck, no matter what I do, it's never good enough for her. She never thanks me. She never appreciates what I do. I just can't fucking make her happy. So why should I fucking try? Fuck it. And they give up. And it just makes matters worse because once the guy gives up and he stops trying, the woman does more of what got her man to the point where he just gave up. It's important for women that are watching this to understand that us guys, we're logically brained. We think logically. We need step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Sit, lay down, roll over, don't shit on the carpet. We need to be told those things when you want something from a guy, if you're a woman watching this, you got to tell him explicitly, specifically, in what order you want things done and how you want it done. Because a lot of women tend to talk relationally, and they talk in examples, and they tell stories hoping the guy can figure out what the theme of the story is and understand what she's trying to communicate, and then take the effort. If you're a woman and you're trying to get through to your man, if you're not giving him logical step-by-step instructions, it's going to sail right over his fucking head. You had some ridiculous girl scolding you about how all communication effort has to be 50-50. Yeah, there was a video newsletter I did a couple weeks ago about that, where the woman, she was kind of a control freak, and it's got to be 50-50, and here you have a psychologist saying, no, it's not supposed to be that way. It doesn't work. When any relationship, it doesn't matter whether it's lesbian, gay relationship, straight relationship, when it's 50-50, there's no sexual polarity. There's always a more masculine essence, and there's always a more feminine essence for the two people to come together. And the stronger that is polarized, the stronger the sexual attraction is going to be. But when it's 50-50, you basically become buddies and roommates, and you have no desire to fuck each other. That's a surefire way to kill the passion in any relationship. And that's why when you understand that feminine energy is about opening up to receive love, it's about bonding, it's about connecting, it's about nesting, it's about being close. That's why women, naturally being nurturers, are going to reach out more and more as they feel safe and comfortable. They don't just do it for the hell of it. They have to feel safe and comfortable and trust your masculine core, that you know how to act like a man and be a leader before they'll do that. And that's why the man starts the courtship off, and then he can just pretty much back off once the woman starts to pursue, once she feels safe and comfortable, and just make the next date. And as long as you're making her feel special and you're treating her right and you're meeting her needs and you're courting her properly, she'll do almost 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing. And if she's chasing you, she ain't going to dump you or get rid of you. But if you allow your chasing and pursuing to remain around 50%, that's basically, on a scale of 1 to 10, her attraction level will be stuck at a 5. And when it's stuck at a 5, that's just basically, you're just barely holding on by your fingernails. In other words, she's just not that into you. If you want a woman to be head over heels in love with you, and want to tear your clothes off and fuck your brains out, you got to let her come to you at her own pace as her attraction level grows. It's just like the cat analogy that I talk about all the time. You got to let women come to you, just like a cat. You chase after a cat, it runs away. You got a dog, you pick the dog up, the dog's just happy. The dog will never leave your side. You pick the dog up, it's always wagging its tail. The cat's kind of fucking moody. I don't want to be fucking picked up. It hisses at you, scratches, runs away. And later that night, it comes and sits in your lap and starts purring. Why? Because it feels like fucking doing it then. But it's like you can't force a cat to do what it ain't ready or what it don't feel like doing. Although affection needs encouragement, insecurities will govern and ruin a relationship. Her thought process is based on insecurity, and therefore her anger towards you is absolute ridiculousness. Again, she's talking about that other video newsletter. What happened in that particular newsletter that I did was this woman called me, and she was all pissed off, trying to blame me for the fact that her ex-boyfriend found out about me because they were having problems in their relationship, and he was looking for solutions, came across my YouTube videos, started reading my book, and realized what was going wrong. And she wasn't having anything to do with it. She wanted it to be 50-50 come hell or high water, and eventually he got tired of her controlling behavior, and he dumped her ass. And so she didn't want to take any responsibility for that, and so she just wanted to point the finger at me and say it was all my fault. She says, there's nothing in your videos that I don't already know, but hearing you lay it down is nice. Keep them coming. Well, thanks for your email, and thanks for the idea for the topic for a video newsletter. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the Products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.